Hi everyone, welcome to English with Shams. To speak fluent English naturally, we have designed an English course 30 days English speaking challenge. In this course, important aspects of English language like grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, and communication are explained in detail with examples. This is day 12, topic past perfect continuous tense. In this video, you will learn about past perfect continuous tense and sentences like past perfect continuous affirmative, negative, simple question, and WH question. Past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense is used for an action that began before a certain point in the past and continued up to that time. If you look at the rule or syntax for affirmative sentences, subject plus helping verb and then verb, and the verb form is ing form of the verb, and here helping verb had been is used. Two words as helping verb are used, had been. And since it is affirmative sentence, we'll stop at the end of the sentence. So first person singular, I had been doing for 2 days. So it is in past, and the work was continued for some time there. That's why for 2 days it is mentioned. Okay, we had been doing for 2 days. Similarly, you had been doing for 2 days. So the had been helping verb is used for all pronouns, and ing form of verb is used. Remaining words of the sentence are same. So you had been doing work for 2 days. You had been doing work for 2 days. John had been doing work for 2 days. Sonia had been doing work for 2 days. So it had been going to forest for 2 days. John and Sonia had been doing work for 2 days. Yes, so anyone would like to read these sentences and translate in Hindi? What is your understanding from here? It is past perfect continuous, meaning here past perfect continuous tense is used for an action that began before a certain point in the past and continued up to that time. So such sentences are called as past perfect continuous. Yes, Shehbaz. Yeah. Please read these sentences and translate in Hindi or Urdu.
I had been doing work for 2 days. मैं 2 दिन तक काम करूंगा.
No, it is past, right? Karunga means it is future. So मैं 2 दिन से काम कर रहा था. It is past. था. In Hindi it is था, right? मैं 2 दिन से काम कर रहा था. Yeah, next.
We had been doing work for 2 days. हम 2 दिन से काम कर रहे थे.
Yes. Yes,
कर रहा
next. Please read all first person, second, and third person pronouns and translate.
जॉन हैड जॉन हैड बीन डूइंग वर्क फॉर 2 days. जॉन 2 दिन तक काम कर रहा था. Right, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, John 2 दिन से काम कर रहा था. If you translate into this, so how to translate? Google Translator is there. Sometime if you want to translate your right, so translate. Go to Google Translation, and here from English to Hindi, right? Or English to Urdu or Hindi, whatever, right? So you can translate them. For example, now in Urdu, if we see English to Urdu translation, okay, put your text here. What is the text? Let me copy the text. You can type or you can copy, both will work. So let's say I'm going to type this one here. So it is, what is the sentence? I had been doing work for 2 days. मैं 2 दिन से काम कर रहा था. You can see the translation. मैं 2 दिन से काम कर रहा था. So this is the translation in Urdu. So if you don't understand some sentences, simply you type your sentence in English and select your language with the Hindi or Urdu, so you will get translation. So this is how past perfect continuous tenses are framed. I had been doing work for 2 days. मैं 2 दिन से काम कर रहा था, right? And if you can also listen to this one, right? And can you hear this video sound, this audio sound?
No, sir.
Now you can hear this audio sound. Right? So in this way, if you translate, you will get more clarity. Okay, let's say Virat Kohli had been playing cricket since 2008. If you would like to express in past, right, say, then you can express like this. Okay, now let's say we will make some sentences here for better understanding. Let me make sentences. So here, how to make sentences in past tense, and it is perfect continuous. Continuous. Today is 2nd of August. All right, so let's make sentences. And we will take some example. So recently you people completed your graduation, right? It is already completed and it is now past for you people, right? And if you would like to express that you were doing engineering, right? So you can say that like I had been doing engineering engineering. So it is in past, right? So, okay, this may not be the correct one. So like, let me say, yeah, in the past, which was completed, the activity was continued and completed as well, right? So, or continued. So let's say, I have, yes, so here, so I had been doing engineering at that time, right? Anyone would like to translate this one? Or let me make simple sentence. So book or write, right? So again here we will use I had been writing a book. Perfect here. I had been writing a book for last 2 years. Yes, first we will complete sentences and then we will translate. Yes. Yeah. Next sentence.
We had been writing a book for last 2 years.
We had been writing a book for last years. Next.
You had been writing a book for last 2 years.
You had been writing a book for last 2 years.
You had been writing a book for last 2 years.
Next.
John had been writing a book for last 2 years. Sonia had been writing a book for last 2 years. John and Sonia had been writing a book for last 2 years.
Yes. Anyone would like to read and translate?
I had been writing a book for last 2 years.
Yeah. Can you please increase your volume? Yeah.
I had been writing a book for last 2 years. मैं 2 साल से book लिख रहा था.
Yes, because it is in past. Yeah, Sabi, when you are not speaking, please mute so that you know it will not echo. So you are correct. So I had been writing a book for last 2 years. It means मैं 2 साल से book लिख रहा था. It is in past. Right. Next sentence.
We had been writing a book for last 2 years. हम 2 साल से book लिख रहे थे.
Perfect. Next.
You had been writing a book for last 2 years. क्या तुम 2 साल से book लिख रहे थे?
No, here there is no simple question, right? So how can you start your sentence with kya? Right? So it is an affirmative sentence. This is not a simple question. So please translate again.
तुम 2 साल से book लिख रहे थे.
तुम या आप.
हाँ.
You had been writing a book for last 2 years. In Hindi or Urdu, we address, people with like, tum or aap. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Next.
John had been writing a book for last 2 years. John book लिख रहे थे 2 साल से.
Okay, so John 2 साल से book लिख रहे थे. Let's keep this one in the let's say you had been, I'm going to keep and translate. Let's see what will be the translation. आप पिछले 2 साल से एक किताब लिख रहे थे. See the translation. You had been writing a book for the last 2 years. Up, or if you don't mention last, that is also fine. For 2 years, you can also mention. For 2 years. You had been writing a book for 2 years. Okay, you had been writing a book last for the last 2 years. आप पिछले, okay. So let me put in this way. Here. आप पिछले 2 साल से एक किताब लिख रहे थे. Right? Look at the translation. So you had been writing a book for the last 2 years. आप पिछले 2 साल से एक किताब लिख रहे थे. So while translating, you need to make sure you translate as much as accurate as possible in your own language. But in English, this is how you need to express. Okay, this is how you need to express. Yes, next. Here. Yeah, Sabi, go ahead and read the rest of the sentences. Okay, so now this is about affirmative sentence. Now let's go to negative. So a few of the examples of past perfect continuous affirmative sentence, like Kareena Kapoor had been acting from the age of 16. वो 16 साल की उम्र से acting कर रही थी, because it is in the past. This is how you need to make sentences, frame sentences, right? So now some typical examples. She had been reading a novel when I went to meet her. Yes, Musab, it's your turn now.
She had been reading a novel when I met her. मैं उससे मिलने गया था. वो नोवेल पढ़ रही थी.
You see, the sentence is starting with she had been reading a novel. So your translation should also start with this one, that वो novel पढ़ रही थी जब मैं उससे मिलने गया था. Right? So your translation should also start from here, right? You are trying to start from मिलने गया था and वो novel पढ़ रही थी, right? So you are just rearranging your sentence. So make sure you translate in a proper way. If the sentence is like this, I went to meet her when she was reading a novel, then you can say that मैं जब उससे मिलने गया था तो तब वो novel पढ़ रही थी. That is absolutely fine. But look at the sequence or order in which the sentence is framed. She had been reading a novel. It means वो novel पढ़ रही थी या पढ़ते आ रही थी when I went to meet her, जब मैं उससे मिलने गया. Okay, so let's take this sentence and translate. जब मैं उससे मिलने गया तो वो एक नावल पढ़ रही थी. Okay, if it is like this, so it is actually translating this in this way. But you look at the she had been reading a novel. वो novel पढ़ रही थी जब मैं उससे मिलने गया था. But here the sentence is actually starting with reading. So we should be our translation should also start with reading. Okay. So right, next. Because in the translation you can exchange, but here look at why she had been reading a novel, because here we are trying to emphasize her reading. If you would like to emphasize meeting with her, then you can start with that. Like, I went to meet her when she had been reading a novel. Okay. Yes. Next sentence.
At that time, Nikhil had been writing a novel for 2 months. उस वक्त निखिल नोवेल लिख रहे थे 2 महीने से.
Yes. At that time, उस वक्त Nikhil had been writing a novel for 2 months. वो 2 महीने से novel लिख रहा था. At that time. At that time. Okay. I mean, let's say now you people recently completed, and before completion, like in 2021, somebody met you, and now he's telling about that past, that when I met Musab, he was doing engineering. Currently, you are doing MBA, right, Musab?
Yes, sir.
So, right. So somebody who met you 1 year ago, or 6 months ago, or 2 years ago, at that time you were doing engineering. So if
Yes.
somebody would like to express that past, so he can say, when I met him, when I met Musab, he was doing engineering. Are you getting my point? Yeah, next sentence.
When I met the boy, he had been crying for several hours. मैं जब बच्चे से मिला, वो रो रहा था बहुत घंटों से.
Yes. मैं जब बच्चे से, when I met the boy, when I met the boy, मैं जब बच्चे से मिला, या जब मैं बच्चे को देखा, he had been crying for several hours. वो कई घंटों से रो रहा था. Yes. And you see here, THE is used. What is this THE here? Article, right?
The
Which article?
indefinite article.
Definite article. Then it should, what should be the pronunciation of this word now?
The
Why?
this boy starting with the consonant B.
Yeah, because after THE word, the noun, the we see the sound of a consonant. So the noun starts with a sound of a consonant B. So that's why the is used here. Okay. So, and why you have used the, even if without using the, you can make sentence. When I met boy. If you say what, and then when you add the, when I met the boy. So what is the difference? So by adding article, you are, it's like you are talking about a specific boy, not any general, particular. So that's why you use this. Next sentence, please.
Your mother had been waiting for you when you went to your friend's house. तुम्हारी माँ इंतजार कर रही है जब आप
कर रही थी, because it is past, right?
कर रही थी जब आप आपके फ्रेंड के घर पे गए थे.
Yes. So your mother had been waiting for you. आपकी वालदा आपका इंतजार कर रही थी जब आप अपने दोस्त के मकान पे गए, जब आपके दोस्त के मकान पे गए. All right. So, and yes, another two sentences here we have.
Mr. Roy had been teaching there for 5 hours.
For 5 years.
For 5 years. Mr. Roy पढ़ा रहे हैं 5 साल से.
No, पढ़ा रहे नहीं, because it is had, right? Had been. So it is in past.
पढ़ा रहे थे.
Yes. Mr. Roy, misal, for example, let's say Mr. Roy is now retired. right? And in some colleges, he might have taught for 5 years. If somebody would like to express that one, so he can say, Mr. Roy had been teaching there for 5 years. So which was in past. Next.
It was 10 a.m. and Amal was tired as he had been working since dawn. 10 बज रहे हैं.
उस
अमल
टाइम
थक
इट वाज 10 AM. उस टाइम 10 बज रहे थे.
उस टाइम 10 बज रहे थे. अमल बहुत थक चुका है.
अमल वाज
बहुत
टायर्ड. वो थक चुका था.
हाँ, वो थक चुका था. बहुत देर से काम कर रहा था वो.
As he had been working since dawn, यानी कि फजर से वो काम कर रहा था. जैसे क्योंकि as he has been working since dawn, जैसे कि वो सुबह से फजर से काम कर रहा था. It was 10 AM. वो 10 बज रहे थे. और अमल बहुत थका हुआ दिख रहा था, ऐसे कि वो बहुत सुबह से काम कर रहा है. Right? So this is how perfect continuous, past perfect continuous sentences are framed. And as usual, for negative, we add not verb right after helping verb. Since there are two helping verbs which are used, so not is placed between these two helping verbs. And of course, ing form of the verb is used. Like, I had not been doing work for 2 days. We had not been doing work for 2 days. John had not been doing for 2 days. So here, to make, if you would like to make negative sentence, we just need to add not word between these two helping verbs, then it automatically becomes negative sentence. John and Sonia had not been writing a book for last 2 years or whatever. For last 2 years. All right, next sentence. Next one. Next one is simple question. Simple question, for all the syntax for simple question is same, whether it is present, past, or future. That helping verb, then subject plus helping verb, and then verb. Because here in past perfect continuous, there are two helping verbs are used, had and been. So if it is simple question, then first helping verb comes before the subject and second helping verb comes after the subject. For example, had been, these are the two helping verbs which are used. So had is coming before the subject and then been is coming after the subject, and the remaining sentence, the remaining words of the sentence, the rest of these words of the sentence remain as it is. So for example, had I been doing work for 2 days? Like, had you been doing work for 2 days? Somebody is asking you, had you been doing work for 2 days? Right? Similarly, had John been doing work for 2 days? Had it been going to forest for 2 days? Had John and Sonia been doing work for 2 days? Okay. Now somebody asking, right? Had I been praying since childhood? क्या मैं बचपन से इबादत कर रहा था? Right? So क्या, right? And similarly, you can see here, had we been taking breakfast for more than 15 minutes? All right. So let's make some sentences using right verb here. Yes, yes. By using verb right, let's make simple question. It's now turn for Naveed. Yeah, Naveed. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
So
Sorry.
please make, my voice is clear, right?
Yeah.
So please make a simple question in present perfect continuous by using verb right. So for this, we
Have you
that,
written the book?
yes, yeah, please, yeah, go ahead.
Have you written the book?
But we have the helping verb which are used are had been,
Had been, okay.
right? So yeah, please go ahead with
Okay,
your
yeah.
question. Make simple question. Use verb right and make simple question. Simple question in past perfect continuous. So
Had
had,
I been writing a book?
yes, Abhi, yes, go ahead.
Had I been writing a book for last 2 years?
Had I been writing a book for last 2 years? Yes, next.
Had we been writing a book for last 2 years? Had you been writing a book for last? Had you been writing a book for last 2 years? Had John been writing a book for last 2 years? Had Sonia been writing a book for last 2 years? Had it been going to forest for last 2 years? Had John and Sonia been writing a book for last week?
Yes. Now, please answer this question. Anyone would like to answer these simple question?
Yes, I had been writing a book for.
Let's say somebody asked, had you been writing a book for last 2 years? Yeah, this question is in perfect, the past perfect continuous. So your answer should be
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
had
had
been
been
writing
writing
a
a
book
book
for
for
2 years.
last 2 years.
yes, I had been writing a book for last 2 years. If it is in affirmative, if it is in negative,
No, I had not.
yes, answer is here. Because question is being asked in simple question is in past, simple question is being asked in past perfect continuous. So answer should be either affirmative with S or in negative with no. Okay, so this is how you can frame your simple question. Now let's discuss about WH question. In WH question, we simply add WH verb. So since so if you look at this part, this is same as from helping verb, subject, helping verb, verb, and rest of these sentences. This is actually our simple question. And in simple question, if we add WH word, it becomes WH question. Like, what had I been doing for 2 days? What had we been doing for 2 days? Where had you been, right? So where had you been for last 2 days? So, or what had you been doing for last 2 days? So it should be what, not where. So let me correct this sentence. So I will correct it. It should be what had you been doing for 2 days? Or you can also ask, let's say, for last 2 days, if you would like to ask about the past, कि भाई आप पिछले 2 दिन से कहाँ थे? So you can make like, where had you been for last 2 days? Okay. So what had John been doing for 2 days? John पिछले 2 दिन से क्या कर रहा था? Right? What had John and Sonia been doing for 2 days? John और सोनिया 2 दिन से क्या कर रहे थे? Okay. So now we will make some other sentences. Let's say here in practice. All right. So please make a WH question here using right. So that you know the your answer should be affirmative. In this way, you need to frame your WH question. Answer should be your affirmative. How yeah, anyone would like to make WH question?
Writing a book for last 2 years.
But can you repeat?
What had I been writing a book for last 2 years?
Okay, what had I been writing? What had been I writing? Right? What had I been writing? If I am, you know, if you, I am asking question to myself. So what had I been doing, or what had I been writing? The answer will be whatever. Let's say I had been writing a book. Answer will be that one. Next question.
What had been
What had
writing?
what had
Be-
we been writing? What had we been writing? हम क्या लिख रहे थे? What had been we writing? So we can say for last 2 years. Similarly, what had I been writing for last 2 years? This is your question. Next.
What had you been writing?
Yes. Now, please translate this WH question. First read, then translate uh, and answer this.
क्या तुम लिख रहे हैं 2 साल से?
What had you been writing for 2 years? आप पिछले 2 साल
Writing
से
for last
क्या लिख
years.
रहे थे? Are you getting my point? आप पिछले आप पिछले 2 साल से क्या लिख रहे थे? आप पिछले 2 साल से क्या लिख रहे थे? What had you been writing for 2 years? Answer?
I had been writing a book for last 2 years.
A book, not a. I had been writing a book for last 2 years. So question, WH question, and the answer is affirmative. Yes, next. With John. Now use noun as John, then makes
What had John been writing?
Yes, answer. Read, translate, and then answer.
What had John been writing for last years? John क्या लिख रहे हैं 2 साल से?
John, you
क्या
see
लिख रहे
last.
हैं
Yeah. So please try to
2 साल?
understand the words which we are using. So here it is clearly mentioned what had John been writing for last 2 years. पिछले 2 साल से जॉन क्या लिख रहे थे, या जॉन पिछले 2 साल से क्या लिख रहे थे, जॉन पिछले 2 साल से क्या लिख रहे थे। आंसर।
John had been writing a book for last 2 years.
Last 2 years. Okay. Now let me put this question in Google Translation. जॉन पिछले 2 साल से क्या लिख रहा था? Look at the translation. What had John been writing for 2 years? जॉन पिछले 2 सालों से क्या लिख रहा था? If you frame your sentence, it may be affirmative, negative, simple question, or WH question. If it is grammatically correct, you also get a correct translation in any language. Okay. Yes. So, right. Yeah. Next sentence. Sonia been writing for last 2 years. Then what had John and Sonia, what had John and Sonia been writing for last 2 years? Okay, and now I am going to ask one question. Let's say आपने अपने दोस्त को पिछले 2-3 दिन से नहीं देखा है, राइट? तो अभी आप यू आर गोइंग टू आस्क हिम, व्हाट विल बी योर क्वेश्चन? What will be your question? For example, here, where had you been? Where had you been for last 2 days? आप पिछले 2 दिन से कहाँ थे? Can you see here? Where had you been for last 2 days? आप पिछले 2 दिन से कहाँ थे? It's a question. Put this one in your translator. आप पिछले 2 दिन से कहाँ थे? This is the translation in Hindi or Urdu. And in English, how you are going to ask, where had you been for last 2 days? Right? Let's say here, today is session number 12, right? And tomorrow I will ask, maybe let's say today, I'm going to ask someone who didn't attend last session or last 2 sessions. I can ask them, where had you been for last 2 days? आप पिछले 2 दिन से कहाँ थे? That is in past. Similarly, and then we have where had you been for last 2 days? You can also make a question like here also. Short question. Where had you been? This is also a short question. Meaning, आप पूछ रहे हैं, आप कहाँ थे? Where had you been? If you would like to specify period, then you can say, where had you been for last 2 days or for last 1 month? Or you can also add since there. Where had you been since last year? All right. Yes. So this is how you can frame your questions in past perfect continuous. Let's do some comparison. First of all, here, perfect we have done. Perfect continuous we are discussing now. Perfect continuous. This is perfect continuous. Continuous. So present perfect continuous. Look at the free dictionary. Correct pronunciation for this spelling, continuous. It should be pronounced like continuous. Continuous. Okay, continuous. Let's look at same system. Continuous. Can you hear this system sound?
No.
No. Okay, let me change now. Same as system. Now, please tell me now. Can you hear now? System sound. System sound. Continuous in US. In UK, continuous. Neutral, continuous. Continuous. This is the spelling, but correct pronunciation is continuous. Okay. So here we are comparing present perfect continuous tense with past perfect continuous tense. Affirmative. Okay, similarly, here also present perfect continuous tense negative, past perfect continuous tense negative. Tense negative. And yes, let's take these sentences. First of all, here we have affirmative sentence. So this is affirmative. Then we have negative. This is negative. And here we have simple question and WH question. This is past perfect continuous tense simple question. Present perfect continuous tense simple question. Present perfect continuous WH question. WH question. Present perfect continuous tense WH question. Okay. So now let's copy this question and do comparison. Simple question. Starting with helping verb. Then we have WH question starting with WH word. WH word and also take present. Present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. Affirmative sentence. Affirmative. Then we have negative. This is negative. Simple question. Present perfect. Simple question. And then WH question. Okay. So here, if you look at comparison, if we compare, so ing form is used. Only difference is, oh, sorry, this is perfect continuous. This is not correct one. I copied continuous, not perfect continuous. This is incorrect. Put correct one. Present is a past perfect continuous. Sorry. Present perfect. Here we have, it seems perfect continuous. So have been or has been is used. But it seems by mistake some, I have mentioned present tense perfect continuous. So it should start with, I have been writing a book. We have been writing a book. So it seems by mistake we have done something here. So it should be like, I have been writing a book. I have been writing a book, right? And then I have not been writing a book. Been writing a book. So have been or has been is used. So we have been writing a book. We have not been writing a book. Then in case of you, so you have been writing a book. So I think incorrect helping verbs were used. And similarly, you have been writing a book. But in case of John, so you has been writing a book. He has been writing a book. This is the correct sentence. All right. Sonia has been writing a book. She has been writing a book. John and Sonia have been writing a book. Been writing a book. They have been writing a book. All right. And not is added just between these helping verbs. John has been writing a book. Sonia has been writing a book. John and Sonia have been writing a book. All right. So here, if we do some comparison for simple, okay, what about, yeah, a continuous affirmative. So I have been writing a book. So here in present have been, but in past had been. This is the only difference. The rest of the words are same. Only there is a change in helping verb. In present, have been or has been is used, but in past only had been is used with every pronoun. Okay. Similarly, negative is also added. And in simple question, helping verb comes first, and WH question, WH word comes first. Okay, so let's conclude today's session here. I will correct this document and share. So see you in the next session. Any question before we conclude today's session? All right, then see you in the next session. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Keep watching our videos to improve your English fluency and practice for better understanding.